Okay, all right. Welcome, everyone. Shalawama. All right, let's see. Shalawama, everyone. Islam to all of the Moors. Welcome to the free astrotheology course. I'm Dr. Yasafa with Zion Law School. Our textbook for the course is The Gospel and the Zodiac, The Secret Truth About JC, the Christ Figure. The author is Bill Darrell-El. All right, so you can get the link to the free PDF in the description area of this video, along with links to the Devil's Pulpit, the Ruin of Nations, and importantly, inside of the Ruin of Nations, you'll find another book inserted. The title of the book is Natural Law. Also in the description area of the videos are my online streaming course, 101 Ancient Ibaryath, which is an absolute must if you're going to understand not just the Hebrew scriptures, but the concepts. These fundamental concepts are required. Yes, I'm talking about etymology, grammar rules, linguistics, etc., are absolutely necessary to understand not just any scripture. It doesn't matter what scripture it is, the Holy Quran, the Bible, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's all language, right? It's all written language. So the concepts are the same. Okay, so in other words, you need to learn these concepts. Period. No way around it. Language is a natural law. Also, my live class, which is Saturday at 5:06, Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody's welcome to come. You can come to a few classes for free, okay? And then, of course, all of the Ancient Ibaryath books that I have written myself that will teach you Ancient Ibaryath, or the original language that the quote-unquote Hebrew scriptures were written in, with the focus on the law. Okay, so I deal with the law. I don't deal with doctrine and all of these kinds of things. I deal with it literally, but only natural law, which is the law. Okay, that's the Most High's commandments or the Mosaic covenant. Okay? But the entire book, well, the entire Bible, let me put it that way, is allegedly based on coming out of the law. All right? Coming out of the law. Okay? So anyway, all of that is there for your benefit. So enjoy it. Make use of it. Let's get into the lesson. We stopped on page 22. All right, page 22 is where the table is, where the author gives us his reasons why he wrote what he wrote in each chapter of the book, of our textbook. Okay, he gives us his reason why. Okay, this is the textbook. All right, so this book is based or coming out of Mark, the first gospel. Mark, the first gospel. So the author informs us that he sectioned off Mark according to the chapter and verse that the content therein represented in the Zodiac. Okay, so right now we are dealing with Scorpio, the Scorpio section. Okay, so Scorpio, according to the author, is represented in the Gospel of Mark at chapter 10, verse 32 through chapter 10, verse 52. Okay, the main incidences or the main events that happen in these verses, according to the author, there's a teaching on power. And then there's the secret gospel. Y'all remember the secret gospel? those verses that the Catholic Church took out because it had information that showed that JC was a pedophile and a homosexual, and other information like that. So the Catholic Church took it out. So the secret gospel with death, rebirth, and theme, and then there's jealousy, okay? So all of these characteristics have to do with Scorpio. Then these zodiacal key words. Regeneration. We should find something in these verses having to do with regeneration, both cosmically, and then here on the earth plane. All right? Cosmically and here on the earth plane. When I say cosmically, I mean it has to do with the cosmos or the zodiac, okay? Or the stories associated with them. So what is this pointing to us? Zodiacal key words are suggesting that we need to use philology, or philology will have something to do with this. Of course, also the mechanics of the zodiac itself, okay? So I'm just trying to put two and two together for you all, let you see something that I see. Not that you don't see it, but I'm doing my thing. All right, so regeneration, death, sexual release, recklessness. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not it. I'm in the wrong one. So regeneration, death, sexual release, hidden power, transformation, and associated with genitals. Okay, so now we need to figure all of this out because the author doesn't tell us these relationships. He gives us the key words, but it's up to us to think and also to be able to perceive these things in the text, okay? But again, that's going to come from your knowledge of the zodiac itself and philology. So mythology, archaeology, art, etymology, law, etc., as it relates to the text, okay? So let's get to it. Let's go to page 20, go to the Scorpio section. Now, if you're new here and you don't have a clue about what I'm talking about, you need to go back and watch the videos. I think this is the second or the third video on Scorpio. All right, all of the content is there. You just gotta do it. Okay, it's worth it. It's really, really worth it. All right, y'all. So Scorpio. All right. Scorpio begins on page 157. I'm not going to go through the review again. Okay, so again, watch those videos. The last concept we saw, I think it was sexual release. I believe it was sexual release. So let me find where we left off at. Okay, here we are. Page 159. So y'all turn to page 159 if you're able. All right. Remember, print the PDF and get it bound. Get it bound, okay, so you have it physically. So, page 59. Y'all remember that Scorpio was once represented as an eagle. It was represented as an eagle. The significance of the eagle representation is that eagles were said in ancient times to have the power to renew their youth. Okay, the power to renew their youth. Actually, they have this as Psalms. This is actually at Psalms 130, Psalms 103, verse 5. Okay. Eagles are capable of renewing their youth. And it reads here, and which symbolizes the power within man. Y'all got that? Eagles symbolizes the regeneration of youth and power, the ability to act, power within man. But notice this, y'all. Notice this. To rise above the temptations of his lower nature. That's coming from Mayo, published in 1964 on page 49. So what do we see here? Do you all see it? Do you all see the Hermetic laws here? Does everyone see it? This is the power. The eagle represents the power within man. Okay, not a God from the outside of man giving man power, but the power that exists within man. See, the Christ within, Psalms 82, verse 6. All of you are quote unquote gods. In other words, all of you have the power to create your own living circumstances, your own level of happiness or misery, your own level of material success, your own level of suffering, all of the conditions that we find ourselves in. We have the ability within us to create it. But there's more to this than just that. More to this than just that. Notice what else it says. To rise above, that key phrase right there, rise above, should automatically cause you to start thinking about what? The Hermetic laws. Also, the Zodiac. Why? Because the sun rises every morning at about 5:30, 5:45 a.m. The sun rises. And then all of the meanings associated with a sunrise. And then, what else should you think? December 21, the sun is at its lowest point in the southern part of space. It's considered to be dead for 3 days, and then it gets resurrected on December 25, right? And it begins its annual spring, its annual ascension upward. Okay, December 21 is what? The lower self. December 21 is dishonor. Dishonor. This is the winter solstice. Winter solstice, dishonor. Summer solstice, this is the Christ. This is honor. Okay, scholars? This is honor, being in honor. This is the higher self, the lower self. So, when the sun begins to spring north, to spring up, we're going from what? Lower self to higher self. From higher self to the Christ. Y'all see that? Right? So what do we see? Listen to the review. Those of you who've heard this a million times, be patient for those who may watch this and they've never heard it. So lower self, higher self. This is the same thing, but what? Different ends of the same line. In other words, it has the same nature. Higher self and lower self, Christ and the devil, Christ and Satan, the honorable man and the dishonorable man, they have the same nature. The only difference is the degree. Okay, so this is positive degrees. Positive degrees. In other words, positive degrees are high vibration, high vibrational. So the higher vibration, the higher the degree. The lower the vibration, the lower the degree. The lower the vibration until ultimately what? Ultimately, the dishonorable person, dishonorable conduct. Y'all see it? The lower self is dishonorable. So the lower self is operating at a low, at the lowest vibration. Y'all see that? The higher self is operating at the highest vibration. Okay? So the concept of transmutation is involved here. Everybody see that? Well, let's before that, there's a concept of vibration. Vibration causes the existence of all natures. Okay, all natures. Okay, so of course, all things are just the same thing but vibrating at a different level. Okay, so the nature of honor and dishonor is a vibration. All right, that's the first. So movement up and down this line, this is due to what? Transmutation. So a dishonorable person can use the law of transmutation to become honorable. Y'all see that? Can use the law of transmutation to become honorable. There are techniques that can help you. A dishonorable person is a person who has what? Negative thoughts, negative thinking, negative behavior, and therefore negative habits. Negative, disempowering, hurtful, harmful habits, right? But, and I'm stating this differently, but that person can change using the power of his or her what? Will. I'm not saying will to change. I'm saying will to be consistent at using techniques to change, because usually the willpower will often give in because most people don't have a strong willpower. So when we talk about willpower, this is the Hermetic law of, scholars, do you recall right now? This is the Hermetic law of mental gender. Masculine mental energy is almost always weak because your rulers, and I'm including religious organizations, intentionally keep you in a state and condition of having a very low mental masculine energy. Why? Because it's the combination or the interaction between masculine energy, mental masculine energy, and mental feminine energy that come together and then create. So if your mental energy is weak, your masculine mental energy is weak. That's what I mean. I'm just going to say masculine energy, okay? So if your masculine energy is weak, it means you don't have a clear concept of who you are, the I. Okay, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, watch the other videos. You don't have a clear concept of who your I is, okay? And then you don't have clearly defined, measurable goals and a plan that you're using day to day. Even a to-do list, you don't have it. So you have a weak masculine energy. So what's happening, and I'm telling y'all why they keep you in a low masculine energy condition, because they direct their masculine energy at you, because your feminine energy will accept the stronger masculine energy, not just yours, but any masculine energy that's stronger, it will accept. It will overpower and override yours. Okay? And then you will begin to manifest. That's right, I said manifest. Just like y'all been hearing about since the late or mid 1990s. The Secret, remember the book The Secret and all of that? You will manifest beliefs, values, and behaviors, therefore habits. Therefore habits that will cause you to believe and do and be and live in the condition of poverty that they want you in, right? Because they are controlling you through their masculine energy and through hypnosis. Okay, so these are one of the techniques. Hypnosis would come to you through your churches, your mosques, your temples, right? Moorish Science Temple. Okay, any place where you go get religion, that's a form of hypnosis. Okay, if y'all want more on that, read The Devil's Pulpit. You can, if you want to see what these religious leaders are doing to you in terms of their charms, enchantments, and rituals that they do, so that the Prince of Darkness, okay, from Zoroastrianism, will give them complete control and domination over your mind. Yes, they're doing rituals and incantations and chants. You see it as gospel music, Christian music. You see it as prayers and sermons. You see it as icons and emblems. You see it as rituals and ceremonies. They ain't doing this for nothing. Okay, and that explains your condition, partly. The other aspect that they're using is advertisement. TV, radio, YouTube, social media, and of course fear. The big one is fear. And of course sex. All right, sex, the drive for sex. Ro right, shalawama. Shalawama, Ro. Good to see you. Everybody see that? So, you can take control of your own masculine energy, which means know who you are. Put it in a nutshell, know your nationality. Know your nationality and have goals in life. And then work towards your goal. And how are you going to do that? Through your will. It's through your persistent use of will. Napoleon Hill talks about this very outright, very frankly, in his book, Think and Grow Rich. He talks about it directly. All right, so y'all go back and y'all read that. If you want to know more about the exercise of will and cosmic habit force. So the reason why I brought that up is that you can use transmutation, which is a technique to go from a low vibrational state to a high vibrational state, and also to go from poverty or whatever your income level is right now to the desired income level that you want, right? So in other words, you can go from being middle or upper income or even poor to being extremely wealthy using transmutation, okay? So in fact, in Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill talks about sex transmutation, which is the harnessing and redirecting of sexual energy, that's sexual desire. That's sexual desire. Many people will say that's when a man he holds back his orgasm, right? He doesn't let the fluid out to Christ. Okay, but in any event, however you see it, it's sexual energy. So you harness that, okay? Some people, my opinion, when you want to be powerful and creative, you should just be celibate. You should be celibate and learn how to what? Focus your mind. Focus your mind on your goal. So if you don't know who you are, you start learning your nationality, right? You're going to see that when you learn your nationality, if you are a Moor, and if you're learning the information that's really about you, you're going to be learning about nature and cosmology. Okay, you're going to be learning about nature and cosmology, the Zodiac. All right, that takes you into law and everything else. Okay, this is what I'm attempting to present to you all. All right, how things really work. How things really work. Okay, not religion, but how they really work according to law. All right, and according to what? Consciousness. All right, so yes, so you can be celibate, or you can just not give your orgasm, sexual semen retention. Okay, so this is the price. So y'all know the story. The oil goes up into your brain, and you retain it over 30 days, and da 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 da. Eventually, you become what? You become a master. You become a Christ. All right. But in this case, you retain the sex energy. Why focus on sex? Because sex is probably the most powerful drive in man. People will risk death to have sex, right? Yeah, people will actually risk death to have sex. Not just a few people, many people do. Look at all the cheating. Look at all the adultery that goes on. For example, in a church, right? You sitting there with the woman and her husband right there, and you sleeping with her. Or with his son, and you're a man. You know, things that people will take you out for. But you can reharness that through your willpower to focus your mind on your goal. Focus your mind and work on. That's doing. See, that's where your daily action plan comes in, or your to-do list comes in, where you got your mind off of sex and those things that are related to sex. Dating, romance, phone calls, texting. Y'all see what I mean? So you will eventually, if you keep it up long enough, that's going to depend on your willpower. You're going to have to will yourself to keep working on your goals day to day, to not watch TV, not sit there texting all day, not sit there watching YouTube all day. So you will yourself to do your to-do list. You will yourself to contact whoever you need to contact, to go wherever you need to go. As Mike Tyson said, I'm going to paraphrase, but he said something like, to be a champion, something like that, you have to be willing to do the things that you hate doing and love it. Okay, that's a very good way to describe transmutation. Okay, so if you continue doing it, as much as it might hurt, eventually you'll go from this low vibrational state to this high vibrational state. All right? It'll just happen. It'll just happen. Some people say it happens when your mental vibration becomes equal to the vibration of the thing that you desire. Okay? So if you want to go from if you want to go from hot, to be simple, from hot to cold, you would use that. Or from being an angry person to a happy person, you can use transmutation. So transmutation is the movement, okay? The movement up, or the increased vibration, okay, to another place on this polar line. Okay, so these are polar opposites. So if you're polarizing here, rhythmically here, in dishonor or low vibration, you can use transmutation to move up. Polarize in honor. Okay, y'all? Polarize rhythmically in honor through transmutation. All right? So it's a skill. Remember, these are opposite ends of the same line. So good and evil, old and new, hot and cold, uh, coward, and brave or courageous, sad, happy. So the positive side is always the highest or higher vibrational point. The negative side is always the lowest vibrational point when you do these things, okay? So when you understand this law of polarity, it becomes very powerful, all right? So let's go back to it. To rise above the temptations of his lowest nature. What might his temptation be? His temptation might be what? To get things without paying for them. Either through deceiving someone, tricking someone, that's treachery, right? Or stealing, or robbing somebody of their birthright. Okay? Y'all see, that's low vibrational. Lower self, lower nature. Okay, so there's two natures of consciousness. There's the higher consciousness, that's higher self. And then there's lower consciousness, that's the lower self. This is nature, right? This is just nature. This is the law of polarity. Higher and lower nature consciousness are the same things. They just differ what? By degree. Just differs by degree. Okay, and you can use the law. You can use the skill of transmutation, the technique of transmutation, to move up this line. All right, transmutation. This works for everything. It applies rather to everything. Now let's continue. Let's continue to where we started, to what we were dealing with, rather. Page 159. I'm just going to go back because I kind of went off track. So Scorpio represents the eagle in ancient times, and in Psalms 103, verse 5, the eagle is said to be able to renew itself. It has a capacity to renew itself. So this renewal symbolizes the power within a man to renew himself, to rise above the temptations of his lower nature. So this is, hermetically speaking, this is saying that man has the ability to rise from lower self-behavior to higher self-behavior. I just went over the mechanics of how that's done, and I also reviewed with you the hermetic laws or principles that are involved in this, right? Vibration. Vibration causes nature itself to exist. Remember, everything is always moving. The law, that's the law one, the law of polarity. Okay, opposites have the same nature. They just differ in degree. Y'all see that? You can move up this line. Remember, everything is vibrating. You can move up this line using one technique is transmutation. Okay, transmutation. To help you in your transmutation process, you can use other techniques like hypnotherapy, like biofeedback, like the Silva method, or any of the emotional healing therapies. All right? You can use meditation to help you with your transmutation. Everybody see that? What else is involved? The law of rhythm. See, once you use transmutation to move from low vibration, whatever it is, low vibration and dishonor, see, those are always the same. No matter what nature you're talking about, at the negative end, it's going to be low vibrational and it's going to be dishonor. All right? At the upper end, it's going to be high vibration and honor. So you can use transmutation to go from anywhere. You can use transmutation to go from here to here. Okay? You don't have to start down here. It's just movement along the line, up along the line. Y'all see it? Once you transmutate your behavior to here, now you need to do what? Stay here. So this is when you polarize your behavior, which implies polarizing your thought in honor here, so that you polarize rhythmically here, let's say in honor, but you can polarize rhythmically anywhere along this line. Remember, it varies by nature. So someone who wants to control you can polarize you in a low vibrational state, which we call religion, a religious mindset. All right? So once they polarize you in a religious mindset, you're already in dishonor. Everybody see that? Everybody see it? You're already in dishonor. So if you are a man, I'm not saying that this is not true for a woman, but I'm a man, I'm going to speak as a man. If you are a man and you let somebody knowingly polarize you, in other words, make you believe and think something and behave a certain way, make you be in poverty or stuck in middle class, or make you be somewhere where you yourself didn't decide to be. If you're a man, your immediate thought should be, I got to get out of this situation and take control of my life. Maybe even be pissed off. All right? And being pissed off, offended, is a good thing. Okay? Because you can do what? You got all of that energy, that negative energy. Now you can use the law of rhythm. Remember, the energy that's used to push the pendulum in one direction. All right, this is you pissed off, angry because you found out what they did to you. You can use that same energy. Don't use it in violence or verbally assaulting people or making nasty videos about people. Don't do that. Don't waste it. Right? Use that same energy to do what? Push the pendulum this way, because you're going to get the same level of movement, right? The same amount of energy that pushed it this way is available if you use it to push it back this way, right? So the opposite of what? The opposite of being angry, pissed off because somebody wronged you, robbed you of your time on this planet, robbed you of your birthright. You push it back the other way using the law of rhythm, and now you're going to experience what? Joy, gladness, wealth, and riches, because you got robbed on this side. Okay, now you're going to get what? If you use this to your advantage, if you use the law of rhythm, you're going to get compensated for what you left, for what was stolen from you. You understand? That's a law of that's a law of compensation. Okay, so you can activate compensation. In other words, you get your stuff back. Y'all see how that's working? But you first have to make the investment in yourself to learn and to do continuously, even through adversity, even though you don't feel like it. Like maybe you don't feel like watching my videos. You don't feel like reading the book. You need to do it anyway. Not every time, but you need to do it most of the time. Right? Nobody's perfect. You just need to do it most of the time. That's when you exert your masculine, manly energy. And women, you have also masculine energy. We're talking about mental gender energy, okay? All right, so let's get back to that. So rhythm. So you will rhythmically polarize, all right, and honor. Okay, rhythmically polarize and honor. Of course, you have cause and effect, right? Everything you do creates a cause and effect. And everything that's done to you or around you creates a cause and effect. That also applies here. And then, of course, mental gender that we just discussed. All right? So we see that in our text. All right? Man has the power within. He is the Christ. Psalms 82:6. You can create your own reality, your own circumstances. You are, quote unquote, God. You create both good and evil. You act honorably and dishonorably. You create the good in your life, and you create the misery in your life. All right? You create the honorable man, and you create the honorable man. You have the power to rise above the temptations. And this is not temptations in religion. Y'all know the big temptations in religion? Adultery and fornication. To rise above the temptations of your lower self, your lower nature. Okay? So we just went over the Hermetic laws involved in that. So higher self is the summer solstice, June 21. Lower self is the winter solstice, December 21. Everybody get that? The sun is at its maximum height in the northern part of space in June 21. This is the Christ. There's no place else to go but the sun to do what? Either horizontally, this is the sun, horizontally, or what? Or to fall toward autumn, the season fall. All right? And as the sun is falling, think about this, y'all. As the Christ is falling, the number of daylight hours decrease and the number of nighttime hours increase. Okay, so now darkness or evil, wickedness is overtaking the light. All right? Light is the Christ. Intelligence, honorable behavior. Darkness is evil, bad, and dishonor, until finally we get to the winter solstice, which is the darkest, or the day with the longest number of nighttime hours of the year. Whereas the Christ is the day that has the highest number of nighttime hours of the year. Now the sun at December 21, I know we did this already, it will move sideways. Christ is dead, right? Christ has been overpowered. The light has given way to darkness. Now there's more dark hours in the day than light. Set has killed or overcome his brother Horus. Horus is ours. Okay? Ours is Horus. Okay? Everybody got that? Ours means Horus. They just took the O out. I mean, they moved the U and put it after the O. So now it's ours. To hide that from you. Okay? So this is why etymology, language, grammar rules is so important. Parts of speech is so important, because if you know that, you would be able to look at Horus and see, based on law, that's linguistics, Horus means ours. All right? Sunset. What happens at sunset? It's dark. So now at December 21, now the sun is springing up, and the daytime hours are becoming greater than the nighttime hours, right? Christ came back. Right? Christ came back. Christ was resurrected, born again, and then Easter. So this is the constant battle between light and darkness, the constant battle between good and evil that you see in all religion, y'all. Okay? Summer solstice, higher self, lower self, the nature of man or the nature of things. Okay? We can apply the Hermetic laws here. The equinoxes, spring equinox, fall equinox. This is your concept of justice, equity, being without sin. 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night, 12 hours a day, 12 hours a night. This is spring. This is the covenant of labor. This is where you are in religion. You are in the covenant of labor. In the springtime, you need to do a lot of work, a whole lot of work. Expend a lot of energy to prepare for the upcoming year. You got to you got to clean your fields, right? Prepare them, do whatever irrigation, plant, plow, all of these kind of things. That's a bunch of work. A bunch of work. That's a covenant of labor. This is religion. All right, religion. This is the covenant of grace where you have your harvest. Let me repeat it again. This is the covenant of grace where you have your harvest, where Mother Earth gives her bounty to the world, right? To the world. If you put the work in during the covenant of labor, you get a good bounty, right? A good harvest. So this is where we are when you return to the Most High. We're in the covenant of grace. The earth gives us its bounty. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 through 14. This is the blessings, y'all. This is peace, shalom. See, we're not at war with anybody. Okay? This is peace and shalom. Go check it. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 through 14. This is where all the blessings come in. And we are born into this. It is our birthright. We're born into the covenant of grace. Everybody see that? Born into the covenant of grace. Now, if you give up your birthright, knowingly or unknowingly, or if you enter into this earth plane and your birthright has already been given up, you know, when your mom and when your mother and your father sign that birth certificate, all right? When they signed that birth certificate, they made you a ward of the state, chattel property, okay? And then they take you to church or to the mosque or to the synagogue. And then they indoctrinate you with religion. They take you to the school system, the public school system, and they indoctrinate you with religion and fake science, which is nothing but religion. Okay? So now you are in the covenant of labor. You're going to be hit with attainder. You're in the curses. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68. The curses are in attainder. Okay? So you go back to the solstices. If you want to return to the Most High, what are you going to do? Because in religion, you're in dishonor. You need to go from dishonor to honor. Dishonor to honor, so you can apply the Hermetic principles that we talked about earlier. Watch the video again if you want to know how to go from dishonor to honor. Go from religion, escape, abandon religion, and never be afraid of it again, and return to the Most High by following His commandments, which are natural law. Okay? Prominent in your ability to do that, or to help you do that, is transmutation. All right? So now let's go back to page 59. So redemption comes through suffering. So Prophet Noble Darrell-El talked about suffering, right? And why do you suffer? You're not suffering as a requirement to be like Christ, right? You're not picking up your torture stake and following Christ continuously. That's not why you're suffering. The suffering comes from your dishonorable character. And now you need to become aware of what those dishonorable traits or characteristics are in you. And you're going to be met with trials. and situations to show you the dishonorable characteristics that are in you. Okay, those things that are against nature. All right? Those things that are against nature in your thought and your behavior. Okay? So that's where these challenges are coming from. It's not a religious thing where your deity is testing you. It's not that at all. It's showing you what's wrong with you. Meaning it's showing you what is it about you, or it's a signal rather, that something about you is out of harmony with nature. Anything that's out of harmony with nature is dishonorable. All right? Anything that's out of harmony with nature is dishonorable. So you go through these trials and tribulations, okay? And as you, if you can't figure out, or if you don't see what's wrong with you, you're going to repeat that test over and over. When I say what's wrong with you, I mean what's out of harmony with nature, okay? That test will come back to you until you finally realize it. And then you take action to change it, using the technique that we just described, that I just described. So I had to repeat the same test over and over and over because I couldn't get it through my thick head about the deity I was worshiping at that time. So I got tested and punished, and each test became more severe until finally I realized that this deity that I thought was the creator and meant me well, I saw that MF for what he is. And I got him the F out of my life. Right? Marshlock writes, Doctor, I'm still listening and mentioning the silver technique. All I can say is I'm shedding a lot of indoctrination. I'm glad to hear that, Marshlock. I'm really, really glad to hear that. You know, it just takes a small percentage of us to return to nature. That's all it takes. A small percentage, because the 100th monkey concept comes in, where you get a small percentage of a population to change their thinking and behavior, and then once that climactic point is reached, boom, the behavior is taken up by the entire population. This is called the 99th monkey or the 100th monkey principle. All right? So as you, me, and others, as we return to the Most High by keeping His commandments, living according to our ancient ancestors' principles and heritage, that would include language, culture, commerce, birthright, all of that. We just need a little bit. That's all we need. Just a little bit, and then boom, the principle of the 99th or 100th monkey comes in. It will transfer to the whole population, and then all of a sudden, all of us have abandoned religion and returned to the Most High and are in honor or working toward being in honor. So I'm very happy. Thanks for sharing that with me. Okay, so the suffering that we go through is not the religious suffering. Okay? We're suffering to improve our character, to resonate with nature. And that's a process of self-discovery, being able to see what you're doing wrong, why you're doing it, what's wrong with your character, and then making corrections. This is the circle 7, the compass and the square. Everybody with me? Everybody follow that? That's what's happening here. Whereas in religion, you know, you're just being tested by the devil, and whatever your doctrine is on that, you're just picking up your torture state. Letting, you know, somebody does you wrong and you just slap you, you turn the other cheek, etc., etc., etc. So it's not religion. This, in my opinion, now let me qualify this. I have not studied with the Moors. I've gone through the 101 questions, and I'm telling you all what I think based upon my knowledge base. So if y'all want to know what the Moors actually teach, then y'all should go search out the Moors who are expert in the topics. Okay. All right. They may have something else that they're teaching. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what they teach privately in their classrooms, because I've never been inside of their classrooms, and I'm not a member of the Moorish Science Temple. But I do see the astrotheology and the astrology in Noble Drew Ali's writings, Prophet Noble Drew Ali's writings. I see it there, plain as day. Okay? All right. So in other words, in my opinion, he didn't think JC was somebody who actually lived and walked the earth. He was speaking exactly as our Coptic Egyptians ancestors spoke and wrote when they put together the original gospel, okay? Which is the story of the sun going through each of the zodiac signs, the constellations, on its annual journey through the sky. That's what Noble Drew Ali was speaking of, metaphorically, just like they did. Okay, just like our ancestors did. And if you want to know why they wrote the gospel, why they penned that story, the story of the Zodiac, Cosmology, why they wrote it as a gospel, well, it's because they wanted to hide it from the Catholic Church and their Moorish minions, so that the knowledge would be preserved for us in our day. That's why they did that. All right, but then the Han Umans were our renegade Moorish ancestors, with their Han Uman servants and soldiers, took it. And they created biographical stories. This is where the anthropomorphism of natural phenomena and natural laws were given personalities and a history. In other words, they were given a biography. And then these documents were pushed on the people as being actual historical documents. And this is what happened. All right? And this is what I'm talking about. So all of these astrotheology lessons have to do with that simple story right there. Just variations, many, many variations of it. Many, many deities. They have different different biographies, etc. But they were written at the same time, using the Zodiac as a template. Okay, y'all? That's how it was done. There's no thousands of years of religion. No, 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 no. The Catholic Church is responsible for creating all of these religions, using the Zodiac or the cosmos as a template. So y'all watch the videos that I've done to get more on that. But that's the fact. Let's continue. So we see sexuality, generation, death, and regeneration, as the author writes, are obviously part of this matrix of associations. And it is interesting that the ancient world perceived the connection between sexuality. Now remember, don't forget the concept or technique of sex transmutation, sexuality, power, the ability to act, and death. Death is not dying in the body and burning in hell or going to heaven. That is not death. Death is death death can be physical, the physical body dies, and death can be civil, where a Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, autochthonous Moor loses his or her nationality. Okay, they are accused of corrupting the blood of the covenant, corrupting the blood. Okay, corrupting the blood or corruption of the blood is a condensed way of saying corruption of the blood of the covenant, corruption of the blood of the contract. The blood here is not physical blood. Ceremonially, that blood would be the blood of the grape, which is the climactic part of the harvest, the grape harvest. Right? Wine, remember, wine, where's he? Okay, hold on, y'all. Wine can make you feel really wonderful, make you feel really great, cause you to be happy, cause you and your friends to have a good time together. Wine. Okay, but if you abuse wine, if you use it too much or drink it too much, it can cause you to do what? Become lazy, an alcoholic, cause you to have personality problems such that you can't get along with anybody, right? Cause you not to be able to go to work. Some people are functional alcoholics. They can go to work, but they have bad relationships with everybody. Okay? So, wine can be good and bad. All right? Some people can drink wine. Let's say a man and a woman. They drink some wine, enjoy some laughs, have some good time, really have an amazing date, go home, make a baby. Right? That's wonderful. Okay? Make a baby, a new heir. And all the joy that brings you. If you're not struggling in life, right? Okay? So the wine is the climactic part of the harvest. Okay? Climactic part of the harvest. Remember, we are in the covenant of grace. Okay? So, Moses, according to the story, Moses told the people all of the Most High's words of the covenant. And these words, these 10 commandments, that's the covenant. And then there are the terms of the covenant, the contract and the terms of the contract, right? Moses read it to the people. Well, he spoke it to the people. Most High spoke it to him, he spoke it to the people. The people said they agree, so now they have a verbal contract, y'all. Verbal contract, all right? Then Moses wrote it down, according to the story. Moses read it to the people. The people again agreed, okay? So now the contract has been memorialized on the public record. There's evidence of it. It's not hearsay. It's a public record, not hearsay. Y'all see why we write paperwork now? Okay, not hearsay. It's a public record. Everybody had a chance to comment on it. People could come back in the future and comment on it. It's a public record. It's the law. Then to seal it ceremonially, Moses sprinkled wine on the people. It was not the blood of animals. All right, Moses sprinkled the wine on the people. What does the blood represent? Blood, the blood of the grape, represented what? The bloodlines. Blood in a family sense. I went through this, I think 2 weeks ago in the Saturday class, 506 The Curses course, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all come to class. The link is in the description area of the video. I discussed this, I think, 2 Saturdays ago. All right? 2 Saturdays ago. In fact, I should not discuss it here because the scholars actually pay. That's a paid class. They pay tuition. So I'm not going to go into this any further. It's not fair to them. But anyway, so it was sealed, and that's the blood, not of an animal. Okay, ritualistically or ceremonially, it was the blood of the grape, but its meaning, blood of the covenant or corruption of the blood. That's blood in the family sense. The family sense of the blood, right? Blood is thicker than water. That's my blood relative, right? I'm his father. That's my mother. All right, so when you corrupt it or stain it, what that actually means is that you broke natural law. You broke the natural law. And as a result of that, you will be disinherited. You will be disconnected from your ancestors' bloodline. Therefore, that is in itself a loss of nationality. Y'all see it? Corruption of the blood or breaking the Most High's commandments, breaking the law, results in loss of nationality. In other words, dishonorable behavior results in loss of nationality. Loss of nationality means civil death. Civil death, okay? Civiliter mortuus. That means you cannot inherit anything, tangible or intangible, real property or titles. Why are titles important? Because titles, your title, the eels, the bays, the alls, the day, and the ali, these connect you to the land. They moor you to the land. They moor you to the land. Y'all understand what that means? Okay, so you lose that. Now you become a stateless person. You get kicked out of the promised land. Y'all see that? You get kicked out of the promised land. Y'all know more means land, right? You get kicked out of the promised land. You get kicked out of your inheritance. More and land are synonymous. So you lose your inheritance. Okay, so when you read Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68, what you're reading is the penalty for dishonorable behavior, okay, which you will undergo attainder. You have no nationality. You become a stateless person, okay? Wherever you go, you're going to be under the protection of those who hate you. And who would that be right now? Try traveling anywhere in the world and see how much they like you. How about that? Try traveling. I'm not talking about the common people. I'm talking about the nation states in general. You go to any part of the world, you will see the Moors, especially those of us who have a darker complexion, They live the most tragic life, no matter where you go in the world. Okay, it's the people who are either pale or who have light complexion. Their lives are much easier. Okay, they have better housing conditions, but that's not always true. I'm just speaking in general. Those who are mixed with the hybrid is what I'm talking about. You see it prominently in the Philippines. Very prominently in the Philippines. You see what they call mestizos. These are people who you look at them, they look like hybrids, but they look mixed. But they look very hybrid. You can see the hybrid in them, mestizos. They're the biggest landowners. They have all the power. All right, and then when you go down, the more autochthonous the people look in terms of their phenotype, the more hard their life is. Okay, all the way down to the darkest, where they can't even find a job, and I'm not kidding y'all. I saw that in India. I saw it everywhere. You know, everywhere I've gone, I've seen it. But so you get hit with the Attainders, and then these nation states will hit you with bills of Attainders through their legislature, right? Bills of Attainder, mortgages, a driver's license, you know, licenses to just practice your profession, truck driver, accountant, stockbroker, medical doctor, nursing, all of these things hit you with bills of attainder. Mortgages, trick you into giving your property, your inheritance away, give it to them as a gift. You don't know no better. Why? Because you can't read. What does it mean you can't read? You can pronounce the words right, but you don't know what the words mean. You don't know their lawful definitions, right? That's how they're able to do it. Because they put us in the state where what? We cannot read. We have a weak masculine energy. In fact, most people don't even have the energy or even the if they got the energy, they don't have the determination, the will to read a contract or to ask questions about the contract, right? So it's the lack of knowledge of linguistics and low level or insufficient reading comprehension skills. That's how they're doing it. All right? So they hit you with these attainders and bills of attainders and take everything you have. Why? Because you are being punished. You're in the curses. Why are you in the curses? For your dishonorable behavior. Do you have to be knowledgeable of it? No, because natural law doesn't care if you are aware of it or not. Natural laws are immutable. They don't change for nobody. That's why they're natural laws. That's where they are laws, principles. Okay? And think about it. They cannot change, because if they change, there would be chaos. Right? There would be constant chaos. Y'all heard me? Is it clear? So let's continue. Death. Remember, civil death, this is a big one. Don't forget that. Civiliter mortuus, civil death, dishonor. You cannot inherit. You can't inherit from your father, from your mother, from your uncle, from your aunt. You're cut off from all of your family. But it don't stop there. It don't stop there. You cut your whole family off. That gives completely new meaning to I'm my brother's keeper. Your dishonorable behavior causes your entire family to lose their nationality. Y'all see that? Yes. It can apply to your entire bloodline. That means it applies to the entire nation. Okay, so when we went into the harvest, when we went into the promised land, we were good. We were in the blessings. We got houses that we didn't build, fields that we didn't plant. Right? That's how the story goes. We just walked into it, and then boom, we picked whatever we want. We got our own plot of land, as the story goes, right? But then we started breaking the Most High's commandments, which means you began to be dishonorable. All right? You corrupted the blood. Corrupted the blood of the covenant. You got hit with the curses, which are attainders, bills of attainders. You got escheated, hypothecated, a term. And now here you are, a stateless person. Okay? A stateless person. If you're in North America, or if you're in the Western world, you're cattle. North America, you're a 14th Amendment citizen. Right? Or black, Negro, colored, Indian, Latino, Puerto Rican, all of that stuff. You are bywords. Okay? A human resource. Ain't that something? Han Uman, they're calling you the hybrid. But they're telling you you are a resource. That means you are something for them to extract and exploit, and to use for their pleasure and benefit. Use you for your labor. Okay? So that's the death component. Sexuality, power, and death, which it has taken deep psychology to rediscover. All right, but that's what we're doing right now, right? We're rediscovering, and I hope we're reclaiming our heritage, which is what? Nature and the laws that govern nature. Okay, so this would be cosmology, astrology, the Zodiac, okay, and astrotheology. All right, and all of this is undergirded by, or the Hermetic principles, the Hermetic laws, the 7. I have them listed in the description area of this video. Are the laws that govern the physical world, the unseen world, let's call it just spiritual, and the mental world. Okay? All right? So that's what we're doing right now. And that's what the Ancient Ibaryath books that I write and courses that I teach, and my streaming course, that's what it's all about. Okay, I show you how language is used to control your mind. All right, to control your mind by people other than yourself, but you're not aware of it because it feels like it's you. Those thoughts feel like they're your own, right? You're not even aware that you're thinking thoughts that are not your own. But you've often heard it said that the Moors learn how to be bad from the hybrids. Well, now you know why. Okay? So if you're listening to disgraceful music, be honest with yourself. If you're living a disgraceful lifestyle, well, you might feel like those are your thoughts and those are your decisions. And the decisions very well, they're your decisions. But that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it because someone is using their mental energy, their will, projected onto you to cause you to think and believe and behave the way you behave. All right? So that's not you. That's not you. It is not you. Are you responsible for the things you do? Absolutely. and nature will punish you. Cause and effect is the most easy of the Hermetic laws to see, and it will punish you. And I guarantee you, you're being punished right now. I guarantee you that. I don't have to ask any questions. Anybody who's in religion, you're being punished. Power. Power is the central theme of Scorpio. Power to destroy. Power to recreate. Doesn't that remind you of the scripture? I don't remember if it's in Isaiah, but the Most High creates both good and evil. Okay, so this would be a Scorpio characteristic. So the evil would be what? The evil would be from the viewpoint of a person who receives the punishment or the righteous retribution. Okay? So for example, in older days, let's say 100 years ago, if some foreigner shot a man's son down, his progeny, his heir, shot him down in the street, cold blood. That man, that Moorish man, will go out and execute divine judgment on the murderer. Okay? Divine judgment. He would exterminate the murderer. Okay? So for the murderer who was exterminated, from his point of view, that would be evil done to him, right? And from his family's point of view and his friends, he would look at the righteous man who exercised divine judgment on him. His family and friends would look at him as being what? Wicked, evil. But his judgment was divine judgment. Okay? And that Moorish man is what? He's the nobility, the sovereign of the land. So he is the quote-unquote God, the white man, the sovereign, the one who has the right to rule, the one who has the right to execute the law, legislate the law, okay, and do what? Issue judgments due to his sovereign status, not sovereign citizen, due to his birthright, okay? So in this sense, the sovereign creates good and evil. All right? And y'all wonder why they shoot the blacks down. The blacks and the African Americans, etc. The Latinos, y'all wonder why they shoot them down in the street. Because it's free. Don't cost nothing. There's no divine justice coming. In fact, the family is going to come and say, we forgive you, or I forgive you. So what's going to happen? The family ignored the law of cause and effect. So therefore, they're going to keep getting shot down until somebody stands up and executes divine justice. All right? Cause and effect. The law of cause and effect. Now that's my opinion. And that is not harsh. That's just natural. Ain't no different than when you're at school and the bully bullies you. Right? When the bully bullies you, if you keep on letting him bully you, what is he going to do? He's going to get worse and worse every day. until finally it gets to the point where he's just bullying you and beating you up whenever he feels like it, humiliating you in front of everybody whenever he feels like it. But when you stand up to the bully, you punch him in his eye. Even if he wins the fight, I guarantee you the second time he ain't going to be in a hurry to bully you. You fight him again, the third time he going to go the other way. In fact, when you challenge him, you might find out that the bully is a chump. Don't know how to fight. Physically fight or fight civilly. Okay? He may not have the tools that you have, i.e. the status, your nationality, diversity of citizenship, and the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the Moroccan Empire and the United States of North America. Okay? You know your tools. He can't challenge you. See what I mean? But let's continue. Okay, so this is talking about Scorpio people are practical people. They are jealous of honor. I don't know what that means, jealous of honor, other than these might be people who want all of the attention for themselves, in which case this again sounds like a narcissist, somebody who's high on the narcissistic spectrum, tending to be domineering, okay? Tending to be domineering. Okay, so these people, Scorpio attitude, they want to be leaders. They don't want to be second place to nobody. They want to be in the forefront, and they want all the attention on them. So this is coming from a quote from Getty's, published in 1972, page 978. All right? Oh boy. All right, so Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Okay, so according to Ptolemy, Pluto represents destruction and disharmony. Okay, so Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which represents destruction and disharmony. Let me, hold on, y'all. I may have made a mistake here. Hold on. Okay, no, that's correct. That's correct. Let me add this detail. Let me add this detail. In fact, let me read it. In modern astrology, so modern astrology, if it is different from ancient astrology, we automatically scrap it, right? We automatically scrap it. Why? The principle is we need to live what? According to the principles of our ancient foremothers and forefathers. Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor Your mothers and your fathers, honor your ancient foremothers and forefathers. In other words, follow the Most High's commandments. What are commandments? Commandments are instructions that you get from your family. Y'all see that? What if your family gave you bad instructions? What if your family gave you instructions that are contrary or that go against nature? Well, that's what's happening when you grow up in religion. Y'all see that? So you're dishonoring the Most High's covenant, the Mosaic covenant, the contract, natural law. So all of you and your family, right, have corrupted the blood of the covenant. So you have been what? You're undergoing Attainder for corruption of the blood. Clear? In modern astrology, the planet Pluto is said to be the quote-unquote ruler of Scorpio. But this planet, that is Pluto, was unknown to the ancient world. So our ancestors didn't know nothing about Pluto. So you mean to tell me that our ancient ancestors knew all of this stuff about cosmology, all of this stuff about the cosmos, but they didn't know that Pluto existed? No, I don't buy that. If Pluto existed, they would have known about it. Okay? Furthermore, but more importantly than that, we need to do what? The principle is we need to live according to the principles of our ancient ancestors. We need to follow what? Honor. Honor. That means give. Basically, it means to do whatever your elders tell you to do. Okay? And I'm not talking about sick people who want to hurt you. It means to follow their instructions. Okay, so this is the etymological meaning of law. Follow the instructions that your ancient foremothers and forefathers gave you. Okay? That would have to do with commerce, culture and heritage. Okay, and all of these things we lived according to what? Nature. Okay? So y'all got it? Everybody understand the rationale, the logic there? So eliminate Pluto. Eliminate Pluto. Of course, they put Pluto in there to serve a particular purpose. I'm talking about the modern astrologists, to serve their own ends. Okay, so Pluto was unknown to the ancient world. That would be what? Our ancient ancestors. Let's just call them the Sabian Moors right now. And Mars was considered the ruler of Scorpio. Okay, Mars was considered the ruler of Scorpio. So, in my opinion, I'm going to go with my ancient foremothers and forefathers. The ruler of Scorpio is Mars. Mars, according to Ptolemy, is the planet of destruction and disharmony. Okay? So those qualities of Mars are consistent with the fact that the two signs Mars rules Aries and Mars rules Scorpio, are in square 90 degrees relationship with Cancer and Leo, the signs ruled respectively by the moon and the sun. Very interesting now. Now, some of y'all Moors who are in the audience, correct me please if I'm wrong, but the North Gate, isn't it referred to as the land of the moon and the sun? Am I right? or the sun and the moon. Sun being gold, the moon being silver. I'm curious to know the whole story behind this. Okay? But eventually I'll find it. Eventually it'll come to me. All right, y'all? So Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. Okay? So the qualities of Mars are consistent with the fact that the two signs Mars rules, which are Aries and Scorpio, are in square relationship with Cancer and Leo. So Aries, Scorpio, Cancer, Leo, 90-degree angles. That's a square, right? Okay, it says, it continues, the signs rule respectively by the moon and the sun. I think I understand this. So Aries is ruled by the sun, right? Remember? So this is December 21. This is the longest, this is the day that has the most nighttime hours of the entire year. December 21, the winter solstice. Okay? But at December 25, the shadow on the sundial moves a full 1 degree. Okay? So now Christ has been reborn. The number of sunlight or daytime hours are gradually increasing. That means the number of dark hours are decreasing, right? Until we get to Aries. Aries, 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. All right, now in Aries, the first day, the second day, the number of what? Daylight hours are increasing. Y'all got that? So it's ruled by the sun. Okay? So Aries, hold on. Cancer, summertime. So Leo and Cancer, yeah, summertime. So these are ruled by the sun. Okay, in other words, there are more sunlight hours. So that means they're dominated by the sun. Okay? But that's all I know about that. I need to learn more about that. But if anybody knows, send me the PDF, send me an email, call me. If you're willing to share that information with me, I would appreciate it greatly. Okay? All right. So that's coming from Ptolemy, page 81. All right. So the last sentence of that paragraph, it says Mars has, let me just read it. Mars has less of an outlet. Y'all can read about that in the paragraph. And this is symbolic of explosive power. At times, as deadly as the scorpion sting. So Scorpio people tend to be explosive. So what would cause them to be explosive? They probably don't express their feelings enough. They may hold things in. That's what causes people to be explosive. You know, they just explode. Or they're narcissists, right? They're high on a narcissist scale, and they just explode on you. Okay? Narcissists tend to just explode on you. Okay? Okay. Listen up, y'all. Let me go back to page 22 so I can bring this, put this fresh in your memory. Scorpio, page 22, talks about sexual, Scorpio is associated with the genitals. Scorpio is associated with the genitals. Everybody turn to page 160, just above the next subheading. It reads here, Ptolemy tells us that Mars rules the genitals. Mars rules the genitals. Now, isn't that interesting? Explosive and the genitals. So the man ejaculates, an explosion. Some people say that the word, that the tetragrammaton has an etymological meaning, which means explosion. Okay, that I heard, what's his name? Jordan Maxwell, in one of his videos said that. Okay? So for example, if you hold a water hose, I think that's the example that he uses. You hold a water hose, you turn the water on, the pressure builds up, and then you let it go, the water will explode out. Well, that's like an ejaculation, right? So there is an explosion, and according to Jordan Maxwell, this is where the Jewish, I'm talking religious people, the religion, not the nation, the Jews, the Jewish people, the Jewish physicists said that the universe began with a big bang. In other words, an ejaculation. There's a lot of problems with that, right? Because if there is nothing, how do you get something? Okay? And then, but before you get something, where did the intelligence come from to create the laws that govern how that something interacts with each other to cause an explosion? So we see that when we think about this idea of evolution or even the creation of the universe, it makes no sense, okay? It is illogical. You can never get something from nothing. Okay, so now listen to this, y'all. Ptolemy also tells us that Mars rules the genitals, and that Mars assumes command. Mars assumes command of manhood for the space of 15 years. Mars introduced, that's he means Mars, he introduces severity and misery into life. Why would that be? Well, think about the personality of an adolescent. Okay? Think about their attitude, the way they behave, the way they think. Okay? Introduces severity and misery into life and implants cares and troubles in the soul and in the body, giving it, as it were, some sense and notion of passing its prime and urging it before it approaches its end by labor to accomplish something among its undertakings that is worthy of note. In other words, there's a Bible verse that says, train up a boy according to his way. Y'all remember that one? Suggesting that boys, is it a child or a boy? Well, let me just say a boy. Little boys, adolescent boys, y'all know how we used to get in trouble when we were younger, right? You think nothing bad can happen to you. You can't get caught. You just do stupid stuff, right, when you're a child. That's going to lead to a lot of misery and pain. For example, in my life, I know plenty of people who, when the U.S. started introducing crack cocaine into the communities, a lot of people I knew started selling it. A lot of people started using it. It just destroyed their lives. They went to jail, they went to prison, a couple got killed. Robo writes child. Okay, thank you, Roro. A couple got killed. Some went back and forth to prison for 20 years. Others, they never got off of crack. Okay, others, what? I know people who didn't get caught up in the drug game, but they got caught up trying to make easy money, stealing, all of these stupid things that children do, fighting, hurting each other. All right, but at some point, the child realizes that they need to change. And as they mature and get into adulthood, middle age, they begin to want to create a legacy for themselves. So this is what the author just talked about. All right. So here we saw the information about the zodiacal keywords having to do with regeneration, sexuality, regeneration, sexual release, that's the orgasm, right? Ejaculation, and then associated with genitals, that would be through Mars. All right? So how long have we been going? Okay. So let's continue. All right, so Scorpio has a desire to accomplish something worthy in life. That's to leave a legacy. That's also well, that's what I just talked about. Okay. Okay. Roro writes Proverbs 22:6. Thanks, Roro. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Hey y'all, I'm gonna stop right here because I want to go into detail about the next topic. We're gonna begin tomorrow. Well, if I'm able, I'll come back within 10 or 12 hours. But if not, same time tomorrow. But we'll begin on page 61, okay? I want to go through the topics that are discussed on page 61 in some detail. So y'all do me a favor, tell some people about our free astrotheology course so let's try to have a full house here. Because a lot of people, they may not have the discipline to sit here and watch a 2-hour video or a 3-hour video, but they may be willing to do it if they listen live. I don't know why that is. I can't relate to that, you know, but if y'all are learning, I would appreciate it if y'all tell somebody else, okay, and have them show up for the next live, and also have them watch the videos. Friends or family, okay, kinfolk rather, not family, kinfolk or your heirs. Okay, y'all? Anybody in your house, in your tent, so we can have a good crowd, all right? But I'm about to bounce. I'm hungry. And if I go into this next part, we'll be here for another hour or two. Okay, so we'll save it for the next live stream. Make sure if you like my work, if you learned something, be sure to support, all right? All the links that you need to support my work and to educate yourself so that you can know what I know, the links are in the description area of the video. All right, y'all? So Islam and Shalawama, all right? Islam and Shalawama, y'all should know these positions, right? Y'all should know these positions. The solstices the equator, and what else? The belt, the zodiac, right? And the sun, okay? And the angles, okay? Each day, each month, it has the angles, the sun, the sun rays and the cosmic energies, cosmic energies, right? All of the stars are supposed to be suns. So each day of the year, they're hitting the earth plane at a different angle. At a different angle. So these angles are the what? Mashlak Rice, thank you for your time. WOY Hem writes, oh, Impel. Oh, okay. All right. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I appreciate y'all being here too. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's go back to it. But those angles, the cherubim and the seraphim, are the angles. Okay? So the sun is going through each of the constellations. Every year, it repeats the same cycle. Every year, same cycle. The sun goes into a constellation at 30 degrees. It exits the constellation at 33 degrees. Y'all got that? It exits the constellation at 33 degrees. Okay, so those numbers, so 3 and 3 is 6. 3 and 3 is 6, the first natural number. Right? 3 is half of 6. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. Okay, 6 is the first perfect number, the first perfect number. So when y'all hear about nativity charts and all of this stuff, I know some people get spooked out when you start talking birth charts or nativity charts. Y'all should know that it has reference to angles or cherubs and seraphs, higher life forms. Y'all read, go get the Kabbalion. You can learn about this yourself. And these angles of light, they have influence. They have influence. Wow, I lost the connection. I don't know if y'all heard anything I just said. I hope I have a connection. Put a 1 in the comment section if the stream is still going. But these angles of light, okay, if y'all understood what I just said, they have influence over your life. And Noble Drew Ali said something about this. Okay, but what is it telling us? It's telling us that the first Christians who called themselves the Way is the Maserat. Okay, thanks, Roro. The Way is the Maserat, the Zoad, the Zodiac. Okay, the first Christians called themselves the Zodiac, the observers of the Zodiac, the observers of nature and natural law. Okay, so these angles, these cherubim and seraphim, these higher forms of life, they have influence. And our ancient ancestors acknowledged that. Did they bow down and worship them? Absolutely not, no. Absolutely not, no. But they lived in harmony with nature. Okay, so WOY, him and Pale, much appreciated, much appreciated. Okay, but they lived in harmony with nature. Y'all follow me? No worship. Anyway, I'll give y'all more on that. I'll give you the exact statement that Noble Darrell-El said when he mentioned this, okay? But what's the point? The point is that it's that the cosmos, the cosmic energy, influences our lives. In fact, when we go back to the law of rhythm, right, the energy that pushes to the left, that same amount of energy will swing back to the right. Remember, this is the law of rhythm. Okay? The law of rhythm. So do y'all see that at play here in the discussion that we had? Remember I talked about the principle of neutralization or technique. Okay? I won't go into it deeply, but this is my last thought. I meant to discuss this earlier, but I forgot. So when you polarize at a high vibration, when you polarize in honor, okay? Remember, you use the law of rhythm, the natural law or principle of rhythm, to move from a lower vibration to a higher vibration, from what? Dishonor to honor, or some negative personality trait. Okay? For example, let's say a person is lazy, they become industrious. Or a coward, they become brave. Whatever it might be. You use the technique transmutation to move up here into honor. And then you stay here by what? You polarize. See, polarity, law of polarity. Polarize rhythmically, law of rhythm. Polarize rhythmically right here. Okay? But the cosmos is sending energy. Okay? There is energy, cosmic energy coming in. You cannot escape it. You cannot escape it. Remember, all of the natural laws are immutable. You cannot escape them. But what you can do, you can use higher laws, or higher what? Higher vibrations, rather, to overcome lower vibrations. So, as rhythm takes place, all right, let's say with Scorpio, a person who's heavy Scorpio characteristics, they would have those negative traits that we talked about. They want all the attention. They don't want to be second to anybody. Okay, so maybe you are Scorpio, but you don't want to have that strong narcissistic personality. So what do? You transmutate, transmutate, and you polarize in honor. Okay? And you use your willpower, etc., different techniques, and what you do every day to stay here in this higher vibration. So what's happening in the lower vibration? Why do I say lower vibration? Because the negative personality traits are down here. See, the cosmic energy that governs that is still happening rhythmically in the lower vibrations. Y'all see it? But because you're vibrating in honor, you avoid this rhythmic movement of those negative personality traits, and therefore you overcome, or it appears to others or to yourself that you have overcome, or the law doesn't apply to you. But in fact, it applies to you, but you're just using the laws so that these laws, for example, the law of rhythm, doesn't affect you. It's like you're flying above the clouds. I don't know if I explained that clearly, but the more I talk about it in these videos, eventually I'll come up with a way to explain it that's very clear and easy to understand. But the essence of it is that the rhythmic movement coming from cosmic energy is happening prominently where? On the lower vibrations. Okay? Or we can say it another way, it's happening what? This is the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. The conscious mind and the unconscious mind. Those rhythmic movements are having effect where? In the unconscious mind. You're not aware of them. Y'all follow me? You're not aware of them. But when the conscious mind is aware of it and you decide to polarize here and stay here, now those rhythmic moods that are happening, movements rather, that are happening unconsciously, they don't affect you. Why? Because you have done everything that it takes with your will, mental energy, mental gender, to stay here, and eventually it becomes what? A habit. Cosmic habit force takes over, and you're no longer what? Given to the moods that you used to be given to. You're no longer lazy, or you no longer feel depressed, and you don't know why. You no longer feel like you don't want to do anything, and you don't know why. You no longer feel angry or lost. Okay? Why? Because you overcame that rhythmic movement through everything we talked about earlier, and now you have a habit of staying here. Anyway, I'm out. Islam to all the Moors. If y'all appreciate what I'm doing, support my work, I would appreciate that very much. All the links are in the description area of the video. I'll be back in 10 to 24 hours. Shalom and Islam to all the Moors. Stay in honor. Stay in honor at all costs, y'all. Return to the Most High. Abandon religion. Abandon anything that disempowers you. Okay? Abandon it, escape it, and don't be afraid of these deities, okay? When your fear causes them to present themselves in your life because you're invoking them, you're giving them life. Shalom and Islam.